And in the last couple months, I've had 3 doctors in the Twin Cities that have agreed to work with their people with the natural things I've recommended after asking me to talk to the pharmacist that they worked with and get the pharmacist's opinion as well as mine. And then they said, go ahead and follow her example.
Wow.
You know, what she's saying is right on. So it's kind of nice to be able to have other people understand and know that we're really not against the doctors.
No,
you know, we want to work
with
in unity because it's fascinating how much better the heart people do with hawthornberry than with the COQ10, and it's like under $20 versus $60 and $70. You know, and once again, the body will make the oxygen that the person needs and give them the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients they need from the herb, where with the COQ10, they're getting a chemical.
Yeah, and the body reacts more to bioidentical hormone or bioidentical herbs, and something that's very natural with the body, I would say. So the herbs are a natural concept in that area then.
That's right.
Good. Oh, well, I want to ask you now, do you know actually the quality of, why is that so important of, you know, what you're going to have them take?
If you were buying a house, the real estate people are going to say location, 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 okay?
Correct. Yes.
Well, when you're buying natural, you need to really know what you're getting. There is so much out there that are well-known herbal companies, and they're big, and they're putting out things that are bad, that are very toxic. And I take great pride in the fact that we carry really quality products, and we'll check our products and let you see the difference in the way what you've been taking, how your body reacts to what you've been taking and how it reacts to what we have on our shelves.
Okay.
And it's fascinating because if you take a really good product, you can get well maybe all the way. If you're taking something that is quite toxic, you may only get a little bit of help and never get well because there's not enough nutrients and quality product there for you to get well.
Okay. Well, that makes me think of another question now. If I come in, or, you know, one of my loved ones comes in, what might you look for to determine what to use then? How does that process go? Well,
number one, I'll ask them what some of their symptoms are.
Okay.
Okay, or if they've been to the doctor and what the doctor said.
Okay.
And if they haven't been to the doctor and they don't know other than their symptoms, then I'll follow the symptoms and think, now which of the systems of the body would, if it's compromised, is going to give that kind of problems.
Okay.
And then we give the herbs for that system of the body, because if we feed the system that's weak, the body can heal itself.
Okay.
Because it gives it the nutrients it needs to do that.
Okay. So Marilyn, in your personal experience of owning Herbs Unlimited, how is it that your beliefs with the herbs, and how is it that you go about testing?
Okay, if I was a licensed doctor, I would call the testing I do kinesiology. I also do the QRA testing, which is very, very extensive. That takes 2 to 3 hours. What I do the most is a simple one. I have one of my helpers do the 2 to 3 hour testing, because he can do it. It takes me 3 hours in 2 hours, and he does a very good job. But I call what I do muscle testing, because I am not a licensed doctor. I've had the same training that many of them have had, and yet we call it muscle testing because I am not licensed. And to me, one of my beliefs is, and this might not be something you want, but one of my beliefs is that when you license something, the government quite often takes illegal things and licenses them to make them legal.
Oh, I see.
I do not want licensing. That's why I go by being a certified natural health professional rather than an ND or some of the things that they are working toward licensing. I do not want to be licensed. I want to do what's best for the people and what their body says and not worry about what the government is requiring. I want to follow all the rules. I want to be honest and upright in all the things I do and only give the best for the people. And that's what I stand for, and I am passionate about doing that.
Okay. And you want the best for them.
Yeah.
Obviously. And so even though you've taken a lot of the same training and you know pretty much the same thing, because of the licensing, you need to call it muscle testing.
We call it muscle testing, and every year I spend a lot of money to go to school, sometimes with organizations, sometimes with listening to the scientists, to teach about some of the new things that have been found that year, and it's just fascinating.
Yeah.
I love it.
So you actually keep yourself well educated and up with, if you had to get recertified, let's say, then you're always up on that as well.
Then you do that.
Good. Now, let's say someone can't get all the way over to you. There's a health issue that doesn't let them drive to Minnetonka. Is it possible for you to assist them over the phone then, or do a phone consult?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes. I help people in other states.
Oh.
I have people coming from Florida and Kansas City and Missouri and Oklahoma and quite a few states to come.
Yes.
I have people, I had one instance where a woman called and she says, "Marilyn, can you come to the hospital in St. Paul?" And I says, "I don't go to the hospitals for treatments and things." And I says, "How did you find me?" And she says, "I don't remember." And she didn't want to tell me. She said she didn't want to tell me. And finally, we were getting ready to go out of town. It was on Christmas holiday. And we were getting ready to go to Kansas. And finally, I agreed to go. And she had said that her husband was told he needed to have his leg amputated within the next 10 days or he would die. And I said, "Well, why does it need to be amputated?" And she says, "Well, he has diabetes, and they said that there's no circulation from the foot and through that leg." And I thought, oh, what should I do? And finally I decided I would fix me a little packet, and I took it along, and I had garlic in a little packet, and I had some capsicum and a couple little capsules that I took along. And we got there, and I checked him and looked him over a little bit, and I looked at his neck and smelled, and I asked her to smell at his neck, and I says, "What do you smell?" And she says, "Just like he's been like normal."
Okay.
You know, she says he's been bathed, he smells okay. And so I got by his feet, and I got under the cover, and I opened one of the little packages, the little package that had garlic, and I put it on the bottom of his foot.
Okay, the one that they wanted to amputate, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I said, "Do you smell anything?" She says, "Oh yeah." She says, "Garlic's strong." And yet you couldn't smell garlic where I was. And yet she smelled garlic on the neck. I says, "Well, now how can you smell garlic there? I don't have any garlic up there." And she says, "Well, it would have had to been through his circulation."
Okay. Yes.
And I said, "So if the circulation is cut off, how did that happen?" And she wanted to, and before the evening was over, I said, "You know, I just can't tell you to ever go against your doctor." I said,
No.
"But you can see that there's circulation." I said, "And if you would take that leg," I says, "there's really only one little spot that looks gangrenous." And I says, "I know a lady that she stunk with the gangrene, and she healed with her leg." And that was when we were in the West Virginia area still.
Sure.
And she was really bad. And this man only had a couple spots that were bad, and yet they were talking about amputating. And there's big money in that.
Yes.
Because of the rehab and the wheelchairs and new limbs and all that kind of thing. And that was about 20 years ago, and he is still alive in North Dakota and walking and doing fine. But they threatened him when they decided they were going to go out of the hospital. And I did not tell them to.
Right.
But they decided they wanted to try it naturally. And so he would put his leg in a bucket of hot water and then in a bucket of cold, and back and forth to get the arteries and veins and everything to contract and expand. And he took capsicum and garlic and a few things in order to work with the circulatory system, and he's doing fine.
Oh, wow, that's a great story, yes. Now, I want to ask you, in regards to herbs, that we actually can use in place of drugs. Is there something that you could maybe throw out to my viewers? Let's say that their child might have ADD. Instead of maybe taking the Ritalin, is there something that you can think of that they can use in place of?
There is, and I usually bring them in. I want them to see what is going to work. Because their body will get strong as we're doing the testing. If I put something in your, say if I put sugar in your hand, it would, and if I was working with the strength of your fingers. Okay, I'll just show you right here. Okay. If you hold your fingers together like this one and this one. Okay, and if I pull apart, you resist, and there's your strength. Okay. Now, as I do that, if I put sugar in your hand, you will go weaker. Okay. If I put something that's really good for you, you're going to go stronger. And you can see how it would make a difference if you'll hold your hand up like this. Okay. See how strong you are? That holds the frequencies in. Now turn your hand over. Okay. And look what happens.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah, it went weaker, didn't it?
Yes.
That's because it lets the frequencies out the top of your head. And when we're working with the herbs and your body just locks in and we've got just the right thing for you, it will be so strong, you literally cannot part those fingers, hardly ever.
Yes.
And yet if it's something that is not to be had by you, you'll be weak. But by the same token, we can take 5 or 10 things that are good for you and know which is the strongest by just rotating them until we know which is the strongest of all the things that I have in the store or there for you to take.
Wow, that's great.
Okay.
Well, I'm afraid we're running out of time, so I really appreciate you educating my viewers on this subject. And we'd like to have you back so that we can actually follow up with some of this as well.
Oh, that would be fun.
Okay, thank you.
I'd enjoy that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Please be sure to tune in again for other shows of Knowledge for Wellness to enhance your overall understanding, and visit my website at knowledgeforwellness.com and let us know where you viewed the show. And the mission of Knowledge for Wellness is to inform viewers on health issues, to expose, educate, and make viewers aware to enhance themselves and their loved ones for a better quality of life. And I sure hope we have provided you with more knowledge to benefit you and your loved ones. So until next time, be well and goodbye.
Over time you've healed so much in me, and I am living proof that although my darkest hour had come, your light could still shine through. And at times it's just enough to cast the shadow on the wall. Though I am grateful that you shine your light on me at all.